Love. Well, when it comes to love, have I ever hurt somebody, broken somebody's heart? And do I regret it? Yeah, I have broken somebody's heart before. I think back to when I was in the 7th grade. I had this girlfriend. She was in the 8th grade. And she was a very, very beautiful girl. And she had a nice shape and very, very smart. One of the smartest people in the school, if not the smartest, she was. And silly me, she gave me a chance, and that was my girlfriend, and it was cool. And I never forget, we were at lunch because we had lunch together. This is when middle schools were middle school standalone. You had elementary, which was K through 6th grade, then you had middle school, 7th through 8th grade, then you had high school, 9th through 12th grade. And middle schools were separate from everybody else. Now everything is combined, but it was separate. So we had our own school. We were eating lunch together. And I don't know, I can't remember if it was somebody's birthday or what, but I know we had a cake in the cafeteria. And everybody had gotten a slice of cake. I didn't eat cake because I don't eat cake. I don't eat cake now, so I didn't get any. But I remember she had her slice of cake, and then she went back up and asked could she have another slice. And for whatever reason, it's weird, but for whatever reason, that turned me off. I didn't like her from there, because I thought in my mind, man, she's greedy. She got another piece of cake. Dumbest thing ever. I was so stupid then, but, and like I said, awesome young lady. And I regret that I missed the opportunity, to really get to know this individual, this young lady, because I was thinking something else, thinking that somebody's being greedy because they had another piece of cake. That was weird. I know. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. So yeah, like I was saying, I definitely really hurt her feelings because she was so hurt. She cried and everything. So that was bad. So I guess for me, it kind of came back on me, and this is why I believe that love definitely has mended me. Love has definitely not healed me, but it mended me. And when I say mended me, because I have children, and my children are the love of my life, and I'm speaking of my godchildren too, not just my biological kids, but my godchildren. They mended me, but I'm not healed when it comes to love, because it's just been a lot. It's been a battle. It almost feels like you run through a rose bush, with no shirt or anything on your arms, your chest or anything. You just run straight through this rose bush. That's how it feels, in my life. So love didn't heal me, but I think it definitely has mended me. And because of those moments, it definitely reflects on the way that I love today and how I treat people. I treat people just with kindness, and I treat them the way that I want to be treated also. Although you don't get that back, I still treat people the way that I want to be treated. And as far as love is concerned, I do my best to try to treat women with the utmost respect and dignity. I didn't have anybody sit me down and say, this is how you treat women or anything like that. I think a lot of the stuff I watched, and I seen, and I'm speaking in terms of like what my mom I used to hear how some men came up my mom, and I heard her reaction and seen how she felt. So I know I didn't like my mom feeling that way, so I knew I wouldn't treat women that way. You know, whether I'm in a relationship with them or just me, it's just a woman, period. And that's why I'm a gentleman. That's why I'm chivalrous, because of those moments. So the one relationship that I feel like I wish I could fix today, of course I wish that I had a much stronger relationship with my mom, but I wish I could fix the relationship with myself and my dad. Like I mentioned before, he wasn't there with me for me growing up, or anything. But I'm not mad at him or anything like that, because, you know, we can't go back and change anything that happened in the past, but we can do something today. And I definitely just wish, I know my dad is pretty old, not pretty old, but he's in his early 80s. And I really wish that he was able enough to be assertive when it comes to me and his relationship. You know, I mention to my kids all the time, pick up the phone and call me just to say hello. You know, don't always text me or call me when you want something, but just call me, just say, yo, Dad, what's up? I'm just calling because I was thinking about you. You know, and I think for me, just taking accountability for my part, I can do that a lot more. But I also wish that my dad could too, because he like I said, he wasn't there. And because he wasn't there, I don't feel like he owes me, but I definitely feel like he probably should make more of an effort for us to fix our relationship, you know. So yeah. I think the way that I love today definitely is because of the things that I saw. Like I said, you know, because I seen what my mom went through, it definitely reflected me, you know, and how I love. So yeah. For me to become the person that I am, the man that I am today, I definitely had to give up and lose some friends. I did. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad people. You know, they may be exceptional friends to other people, but to me, they weren't. And that can be toxic. You know, that can be toxic. So I think how I am and who I am, because I have been kind of like not lonely or anything, but kind of alone in my walk, in my journey. So I think that I'm okay in a sense, you know, if I didn't have any friends. I think I'm okay. And that's because, like I said, I've so long I rocked by myself. It was just me, you know, so that's why I kind of feel that way. The friends that I do have, I'm thankful for, you know, for sure. But I think I had to lose some friends in order for me to become the man that I am today, because of the toxicity of being that person's friend. You know, being loyal is not an easy thing to do when it's so easy to be disloyal, you know. So yeah, I went through that. I went through friends thinking that I did things that I didn't. Once again, it goes back to that I'm the easy person, you know, to blame, to place blame on. So yeah, it is what it is, if I could say that. I don't think my success has made me feel lonely in any way, because me having the success that I've had, the people that mess with me. As simple as that. They've been there. So no, I haven't felt lonely. And on top of that, I'm still not where I want to be. I still have a long way to go to get to where I desire to be. And I think that you feel lonely when you're looking and expecting something from people. And when they don't give it, then those are moments where you can feel lonely, because they don't meet your expectations for them being there for you, for them being there with you. And that's physically, emotionally, spiritually, all that. So that's why I look at things like the things that my mom taught me how to do. She taught me as a young man how to cook and clean. So those aren't attributes that I look for, look to see in a woman or anything like that. She doesn't need to know how to cook for me. She doesn't need to know how to clean. Now, doing those things, yeah, is great for sure. But it's not nothing that is like, I need this. I need her to cook. I need her to clean and stuff like that, because I know how to do it myself. So, yeah, so I haven't felt lonely or anything like that, because, like I said, the people that rock with me. And I still have a long way to go to be successful. So maybe, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. One dream that I had to bury, man, at a very early age was when I was in 11th grade in high school. I had to bury thinking that I would go pro, to play pro ball. And I think every young man growing up that played sports had a dream to go play pro. Whether it was baseball, basketball, football, I said those three because those are the three sports I played. Every young man who played those sports, I think wanted to go pro. Whether they talked about it or not, that was definitely a dream, I think, of all of ours. And I had to bury that at a young age because I didn't have the support that was needed. It was just me. Didn't have the support, didn't have the guidance or anything. And I think I was a pretty raw and natural athlete. But I definitely think if I had training, guidance, definitely would have been farther than what I went. I had the opportunity to leave and go play ball in college, but I didn't, because at the particular time, my oldest child was on the way. So I didn't want to leave her, my girlfriend at the time, didn't want to leave her, and I definitely didn't want to leave my baby that was on the way. So I definitely stayed home to do what I needed to do to take care of them, So I did everything untraditionally. I didn't go to college until I got older, and did the other stuff, the family stuff at a younger age. I think I would be lying if I said every time I go to sleep, I don't think about proving somebody wrong. I think I do that. Now, whether it's the right thing to do or not, I'm just being honest. I do, and I think a lot of us do in a certain degree. We may not admit it, but I'm admitting it. I think that there are people that I try to prove wrong, because of, like I mentioned before, the people in my church saying that I wasn't going to be nothing. The people that look at me who don't see me, I try hard to prove to those people who I am, what I do, and boom, look at this, so I definitely may have to get out of that for sure. It doesn't affect me emotionally or anything like that, at least not consciously. It could be subconsciously, don't know, but at least not consciously. So yeah, I would be lying if I said that I didn't go to sleep thinking about how I could prove somebody wrong. Yeah. I like this question. So when people speak my name in the future, years from now, the legacy I want to leave is that people knew that I was a genuine person and that I would give them the shoes off my feet, clothes off my back. That was just me. That is just me, and the people that know me know that about me. And that's just who I am. I do my best to try to give people the opportunity that I didn't have. That's what I try to do. So I that's one of the things that I want people to know about me when they speak my name years from now, is that Ronnie was all right. That's a dope guy, a good friend, good father, good brother, good uncle, good son, all that. The one part about my story that people don't know is that I have a lot of scars, a lot of wounds emotionally. I've been hurt so much, in all different type of ways. I think if people knew that, then people will understand why my grind is the way that it is. But I've been hurt so much, and that's not to say I'm any different from anybody else. I know people experience hurts and things like that, but I was one of the ones who didn't guard my heart. And I still don't to this day. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, I wear my heart on my sleeves. And I think a lot of people take advantage of that. So, yeah, I have to work on that. Keep praying for me, y'all. If I could sit down with my younger self today, one thing I would tell him is to have tunnel vision. Look straight ahead. Stay focused, young man. Keep your eyes on your prize. Not nobody else's, but your prize. And I think if that resonated with me as a young man, I think I probably would be in a better position. I would have been in a better position than I was early on in my life. And I just knew I wanted to be something great. And although I didn't want to be nobody's boss or anything like that to tell people what to do, and it shows even today, even with like me being a playwright, even by me being a playwright and all that, I always, even though it's my production, I always include my cast on decision making and things like that. Want them to be a part of it, and I think the difference, of being in charge is, you get to dictate and direct people on what to do, and I never wanted to do that. But I definitely wanted to be a leader. I definitely wanted to lead people and show people the right way and groom people on how to do things. And I think there's a difference between being in charge and leadership. for sure. And that's me. I want to be a leader. Thank you for this question. Yeah. Am I proud of Ronnie, the person, not the accomplishments or the brand? You're darn right I am. I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud that I still am thriving. I'm still growing. I'm still trying to be the man that God called me to be, and also the man that I desire to be, and an example and a role model for people that look like me, that come from the same background that I came from, and all that. And I remember this, we call them OGs. So this OG in my hood when I was younger was talking to me, and I mentioned to him that I can't wait to get out of my neighborhood at that time because I was going through something. I was hurting. I think one of my friends had been killed, and I was just emotional, and I was just saying I can't wait to get out. And he said to me, "Why do you want to leave? The hood's been good to you." And I thought about that. And I don't know where it comes from, but once again, that's that credit goes to God. I was able to articulate my response to him. And I said, wow. I said, well, I've been good to the hood because I'm from the hood and I'm a strong black young man. I have goals and ambitions. I haven't been in any trouble or anything like that. And I come from the hood. So one thing people can see is that this individual came from the hood, from the inner city, and look who he is. Look who he's become. Look how he's leading. Look at the example he's setting. And he came from the hood. So, yeah. So when you ask that question, am I proud of Ronnie, the person? When I look in the mirror, you're darn right I am.